Abuse. We're going to talk with a couple of lawyers, see what they think. We've got family law attorneys, Vikki Ziegler. Vikki, good to see you again, and also joining us right here in Atlanta, Randy Kessler. All right, Randy, let's start with you. First off, 2 days, done. You surprised at that?
That's amazing. With all the resources that they had, I'm sort of shocked they didn't stretch it out and make sure that they went above and beyond. But no, if they have a good case, they put it up. And, you know, what happened with O.J. Simpson is they went on and on and on, and they gave the defense a lot to attack.
Okay, Vikki, I know you're surprised as well, just 2 days, but let's take, did they do enough? You think with the revelation that we've got at least 10 underage girls pregnant, and now today we're talking just about the brainwashing. Is that enough for the state?
I'm hopeful that it is. I think the physical, sexual, and emotional abuse, in terms of the evidence that they've shown, is going to meet that standard. It's a lower criminal burden. The standard is lower than the criminal burden, so I certainly think that they have enough evidence. The state is going to keep these children away. I mean, it's damaging testimony and the evidence that this judge is seeing.
Vikki, obviously the #1 issue is here, what is in the best interest of the kids, right?
Yes, that is the test, Mike.
Okay, so with that said, is the judge going to look at this and, you know, wait a minute, maybe these kids aren't ready for the outside world, even though we're seeing a horrific abuse? Will the judge look at that?
I think so ultimately, but this is her one opportunity in an overwhelming case to keep these children at least temporarily. So we have many factors. #1, integrating them into mainstream society, because these children are coming from a different world. How many people can we actually place in foster care? There's 416 children. So there's some serious logistical obstacles, but I think outweighing the safety of these children makes much more sense to keep them in the state custody than sending them back to this entity.
Well, when you talk custody, it's such a mess. You've got half-brothers, half-sisters, Jessup, and I mean, the family lines are so blurred. Doesn't that make it so difficult to who goes with who? It
does, and that's why the state is requesting DNA evidence, because nobody knows really, are these children's names accurate? Who are their actual parents? So certainly it's blurred, but I think this judge has to err on the side of caution to make sure that the safety of these children is paramount versus putting them back in the lion's den, so to speak. And I think that's really the thrust of the argument, and was enough evidence presented to meet that burden. And I think, and I hope, because the state rested so early, that the answer is yes.
Okay, Randy, let's go to you. Some had made the argument, I know some of the attorneys I'd heard, that, hey, unfair that you're lumping us all together. My client wasn't abused. What do you say to that argument?
I say better safe than sorry, and that's sort of what we always do. You know, as a state, as a society, we sort of say, what are we going to do to protect the helpless? And the children are the helpless. And ultimately, it might be a harder burden than just what's in the best interest, because to tear children away from their parents, you have to prove some pretty good stuff, or some pretty bad stuff. But at first, you know what, let's protect them all, and if the worst thing that happens is they're separated from their parents for a few weeks, a few months, that's not a good thing, but it's better than putting them back in the hands of abusers.
You know, what about the whole, we've been waiting to see who Sarah is. Sarah, the 16-year-old who made the original call, we believe anyway. Well, now there's a woman in Colorado City who's been arrested. She might have been a part of this. There might not be a Sarah. Does that blow a hole in the state's case at all, or is that, hey, we've got abuse, that's where who cares who made the call? You
know, the Texas Attorney General pretty much said that doesn't matter. There's not this fruit of the poisonous tree that there was a wrong search, so everything that follows after that. We're talking about children, and the state is going to find a way to protect children. It sounds like they have a lot of evidence besides this one phone call now. They've got admissions, they've got people testifying. It sounds like they have well more than they need to at least get over the threshold of, let's secure the children and do some more investigation.
It's about the kids and keeping them safe. Vikki, where's the defense going to go here? What can we expect?
Well, I think that the argument is certainly you can't take these children away. You haven't met your burden of proof. There's not enough evidence. It's dangerous to take healthy children away, because not all 416 may not be abused. And I think there's criminal issues here that are also going to be far-reaching. So I think there's an amalgam of issues that are far-reaching than what we've seen today. And I think the mothers here that we've heard, clearly brainwashed, most of them, are arguing, I have children, I need to take care of them. Some need medication. Some are getting sick in these environments, so they need to come home.
Exactly, and it's still, I mean, yes, you feel for a mother who's been separated from a child, but what overrides that is the abuse, and this could be lifelong, scarring abuse. Those kids have got to be taken out of there. Vikki Ziegler, we appreciate your time. Randy Kessler, good to see you as well.
Nice being with you.
Thanks again.